So my advice to people is to kind of find your boob squad.
I like the idea of like, you won't be able to wear underwire, but find the equivalent in friends and to give you the support you need.
We're just
to
gonna
hug
hold your breasts
That's
up.
Thanks for being here.
Of course.
It's so nice to see you.
It's nice to see you.
So tell me about Blog Her this year. It's very exciting. Who's going to be
So Blog Her is our live event series, and it brings together the most diverse group of female content creators. We used to have one annual Blog Her, but now we're doing kind of individual verticals. So we're doing Blog Her Health, and it brings together all these health bloggers, all these women who are really wonderful at being like self-care. You need to take care of yourselves, which women have a huge problem doing in general. Jamila is coming, Alyssa Milano. We have an activist called Edna Chavez. She was part of the March for Our Lives. So it's like really impressive women who will make you feel like you need to do more.
So basically you're just going to shame us and make us feel
like
we're not doing enough.
I was like, I got out of bed today, I put this dress on, and I'm here.
I've heard you talk about this before. You say real change comes from real discomfort. Yeah. What do you mean by that?
I think everything will stay the same unless someone speaks up. And to speak up in a room where everyone's comfortable is a very uncomfortable thing to do. So kind of calling people out, similar to what Jamila's doing, but in a way that does make you uncomfortable. Like you're not gonna be, it is so hard to make change, and it starts with your own discomfort and getting over that.
Let's talk about boobs.
Oh,
yeah.
Thank you.
You know, you were diagnosed with cancer at a very young age. How old were you when you were
I was diagnosed in 2014 at the age of 35. Like right before my birthday. My aunt had breast cancer when I was in college. That's my mother's sister. My mother had it 5 years prior to me, and then my cousin, my mother's sister's daughter, had it 2 years before me. So as my brother said to me when my cousin was diagnosed, he just looked at me and said, "Your boobs are doomed." And he was, it is nice. I was like, and I understood. I was like, yeah, but I didn't think anything of it.
You wrote a really, really powerful piece for Coveter. Yeah. Because you talk about cancer, because you talk about these issues with humor, you do make it a little less scary because it is scary.
Well, I have to like credit my aunt is one of the funniest people like you'll ever meet. She got diagnosed first, and she needed chemotherapy. They removed 20-something lymph nodes. She handled it with such like grace and charm and humor. So our family, that's like how we operate. We're like, you have cancer, LOL.
So, I mean, your brother also features a lot in the piece. I love that, like, your brother, he's just a curious fellow because he played the card before you could.
Oh, he played the cancer card not even 6 hours after I got diagnosed. My friends and my brother all came over to my apartment for dinner, and he was supposed to meet friends for drinks, and he like stepped out for a second. He called them, he said, "I'm so sorry, my sister has cancer, I can't make it for drinks." And I was like, really? That's what we're playing the card on? And he's like, it worked really well.
Wait, you're like, wait a second, I get dibs. Like, I know. If I have the cancer, at least I get dibs on the cancer. I know,
and he went out that night to get all of us like Chipotle. That's what we decided my cancer meal would be. And my order is the one order he screwed up. So when my cousin finished chemo, everyone was like, Reshma, you need to get your mammogram. I'm 33, 34 years old. I really don't want to. They gave me my first mammogram. The woman's like, so I just want to warn you, you have very like dense but perky boobs. And I was like, are you calling my boobs stupid?
It's like a backhanded compliment.
Attractive? I was like, thank you. But she was trying to tell me that when you have dense tissue, it's hard for them to see anything. So they do this biopsy, they find nothing. They're clear. I was like, oh, great. About a month or two goes by, they decide to do an MRI, and they see something on my left breast. And then they do an ultrasound. And the ultrasound technician said to me, I don't know how I missed this. So they did a biopsy, and on March 4th, the doctor called me at my office and said, I'm so sorry, it's cancer. And like, I'm not a person who like gets emotional or anything, but I like burst into tears because I was like, oh, you just feel like you don't really hear anything after that.
I think you and I, when we first met, I'd literally just had, I can't remember if I'd had the biopsy as well.
Oh yeah.
But I think I did, right? I think I just had the biopsy when I met you. But it is a scary thing when you do go to a mammogram. My grandmother was 28 when she died of breast cancer. So I think my mum was 5 years old when her mother died. It is. It's so young, isn't it? And then, you know, we just have lumpy boobs. But,
yeah.
You know,
they're called dents.
You're saying like dense but perky.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where, you know, when you're told like, oh, you know, they're kind of lumpy, they're kind of dense, like we can't really tell. And that moment where someone even sort of says, we found something and we're going to have to do a biopsy. And you're right, it does just, the floor kind of comes from underneath you.
Even when they said they found something, I don't know if you felt this way, even knowing like my whole family had it, I never thought I would get it.
See, I was different. Oh, well, but it's different though because you know, thankfully mine was benign.
Yeah.
But I knew they were going to find something. I don't know why.
After my lumpectomy, I go to my oncologist. I said, so what about like pregnancy? And he said, oh, pregnancy for you? No. Just like that, no. Having male doctors in something like this was kind of upsetting because I don't think they could truly understand what, you know, saying to someone, oh no. So then he expanded a bit. He expanded a bit and he said, I said, no, meaning like never. He's like, you've gotten this very young. If it comes back, we have a problem. And so I talked to my mom and my mom and I from the beginning, she had said to me, if there's a risk that your cancer could come back and you're gonna end up dying when you're 45. She didn't say it like that, but this is what I had kind of inferred.
Reading between the lines.
Exactly. You're going to die when you're 45. Do you want to leave a child? It upsets me because I'm like, oh, you always think, like, especially when you're younger, a lot of women do at least, oh, I'm going to be pregnant, I'm going to have kids. And especially because all of my friends around me have kids.
That's the thing, when it starts to be that age where all of a sudden everyone is having
Everyone has children. So I've come to terms with the fact that I can't have children biologically, most likely. But it doesn't mean I can't be a mom, like, in other ways. So whether it's adoption or this. My breast surgeon, Dr. Alexandra Hirt, my first session with her, she basically said, we do not recommend a mastectomy for you. That is not helpful at all. Which was such a relief to hear and so different from what the first doctor said.
Yeah, it's nice that it's not just a casual mastectomy on a Tuesday.
She was just so great about it. And she's like, and also, just so you know, the average age of women having their first child in New York is 38. Which also made me feel so good. And I was like, oh, I have time, right? I get my lumpectomy, I go through radiation, my boob turns black.
It turns black?
It turned black, it like burned so much. I called it my very, very, very brown boob and my other boob.
Right, yeah. and the normal brown, yeah.
Yeah, less brown boob.
That's really scary though. I mean, like, that's
it wasn't great. I couldn't
thing.
wear a bra and, you know, I'm well endowed. So I had to walk around without a bra. I can't wear normal bras anymore. I have to wear like little sports bras because...
Where do you go to get them? Are there like...
I don't know. I need new ones. So if anyone knows,
let me know. I mean, these are all the kind of questions I imagine that when you're going through it.
Yeah.
You know, what kind of questions were you all of a sudden kind of asking yourself? Like, oh wait, where do I get bras now? And
like, I got something called lymphedema, which everyone can Google. But basically I have to wear a compression vest when I fly, a compression sleeve, which is like a straitjacket. So like,
it looks like a terrorist in a bomb. This is excellent.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of, I get patted down at the airport all the time, obviously, because I go through, it goes off.
Yeah.
And
it just goes random. Yeah. Ooh, sorry.
And then they send like a female TSA agent who's like ready to pat down aggressively. And I was like, ooh, I have breast cancer. And then they get scared. They're like, do you want to go into the back room? And I was like, what the hell is happening in the back room? I was like, no. I just mean be gentle. That's all.
Yeah. The first thought is, do you want me to glove up?
Yeah. I was like, what's happening?
Put that glove down. You're fine. It's okay. Don't need that.
Yeah, I was like, just be gentle.
Thank you so much, Reshma. This is just wonderful. And I just do think that you're doing such an important job because it's hard to talk about this stuff.
Yeah.
And you were talking about it in a way that I think is accessible, and that's so important because it is something that is a topic, like I said, like you just want to put it away. You don't want to.
And you want to encourage women to tell their story, to be honest about it, because I think for so long women have been taught to pretend everything's great, and it's not. Spoiler alert, it's sometimes not. So you just want to tell people it's okay if things are not okay.